Morning again. The time is 9 o'clock and I'll call this committee meeting of Land Use and UW Extension to order. My name is Alan Barkstrom, representing District Number 8. So Meredith, you want to take the roll?
Good morning, Alan Barkstrom,
Here.
Michelle Drobnik,
Here.
Doug Erickson,
Here.
Jason Hastings. Are you remote?
I'm here.
Thank you. Robert Kopish, Larry Mivas,
Here.
and Rachel Hoffman. Thank you.
Okay, there's Rachel is here. We're going to have one public hearing this morning, and if you're going to speak to that, you should sign up. And if you will speak, you'll be allowed 3 minutes. If it's on the agenda, 2 minutes if it's not. So is there any public comment this morning? Any public comment? Anybody online that wishes to speak? *6 to unmute. Okay, hearing none. Is there any communications from any member of the committee? Hearing none. We'll call, it's, time is 9:01 and we'll open the public hearing. Special exceptions permit filed by Matt Manchester for the purpose of building a storage shed 40 feet to the center line of Blockhouse Lake Road on property located within part of Government Lot 4, Section 10, Township 40 North, Range 1 East, Town of Eisenstein. Fire number is N16199, Blockhouse Lake Report. Evan?
Letters of notification were sent to Blockhouse Cottage LLC, Brian and Trish LeBlanc, Dwight and Linda DeLong, Michael Anker, Richard and Sandra Grachet, Timothy Dane, the U.S. Forest Service, Matthew Manchester, Elizabeth Polachek with the Town of Eisenstein. And we did not receive any communications back.
Okay. Does anybody wish to speak to this exceptions permit from the public?
*6 if you're online and like to speak.
Yeah, I can't hear you when you're.
I know, I try not.
*6 if you want to unmute yourself and speak to this permit. All right. Hearing none, I'll declare the hearing closed. The time is 9:03. Agenda item number 5 is decision on the special exceptions permit filed by Matt Manchester for the purpose of building a storage shed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Michelle Drobnik, seconded.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Bob Kopish. Any discussion? We'll vote on the issue. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Okay. That will end public hearings. Agenda item number 6 is a land division filed by Benjamin Morey to create 4 lots, Town of Amory.
So you received a copy of the land division in your packet. There's no issues with this one.
Okay.
They're creating 4 different lots as described on the map. 3 of the lots have front, or 2 of the lots have frontage on the road, and the other 2 have the 66-foot wide easement as shown. They're well over an acre. We don't have any issues on the 4-to-1 length to width ratio.
So all in compliance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Do I
doesn't
hear a
require a
motion?
CSM because it's not in shoreland.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to
Motion
approve.
by Doug Erickson.
I'll second.
Seconded by Michelle Drobnik. Any further discussion? We'll vote on it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I hear you, Jason.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 7, preliminary plat filed by Albert Simpson on behalf of the town of Worcester to create a new plat, Red Pine subdivision, town of Worcester.
So this one, requires a state plat approval because they're creating more than 5 lots under 1.5 acres in size. I did not have the preliminary plat packet. This is how it came. I mailed this, put it in your packet. I don't have a regular size one, but they're creating 9 parcels on, I can bring it around and show you along East Solberg Lake Road. And there's gonna be 6 that are roughly 1.1 to 1.3 acres in size. Lot 7 is 7.07, lot 8 is 5.69, lot 9 is 7.9. So, yeah. We just take what works. Kind of know the gist of it. So this one actually has to go down to Madison to plat review because it's a state plat. I did include in your packet the map of the location of the plat. There's a GIS photo. I don't know if you see that. Yeah, so the blue highlighted parcel is the parcel that they're creating that plat out of. So this will need to get approval for the preliminary plat. It'll have to go down to plat review down in Madison for the state plat review. And then they will bring the final plat back to us
Okay,
when the final plat comes.
So yes, is there access on the site?
Yes, there is. So what that is, when you look along that west side, that's just the quarter section line that you saw along there. The parcels actually do all go all the way to East Solberg.
Yeah, I was just looking at your map drawing.
Yeah,
That's
that line is just that's a quarter line, but the parcel actually goes over that quarter line.
okay.
So that's why that's shown on there.
So there's no action required today?
We would need a motion to approve the preliminary plat.
Preliminary
on our
Preliminary,
end.
but it still has to go through this whole process.
It still goes to the DOA to state plat review, and then we'll come back to this committee for final
it's
plat
not
review.
done yet.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Bob Kopish to approve the preliminary plat. Second by Michelle Dropnik. Any further discussion?
And all of the lots do meet minimum size requirements if frontage requirements met.
Okay. Okay, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move to agenda item number 8, land division filed by Chris Fieri on behalf of Jack Jervincevu to create 1 lot, town of Knox. And then there's some, on the agenda, there's some things that are lined out in red. What is that?
So the issue is there was a formatting issue when we made the original agenda. You can see it was on line number 8. It actually had created 2 of them. It had to be, the one that's lined out had to be moved down to line number 9. It was by mistake. When I originally
I
put
see.
it into
Okay.
Word,
All right, I
it
understand.
formatted it kind of funny. And
All right,
so anyway, this one they submitted a CSM. It did not require a CSM because it's not in shoreline, so it just requires a regular land division, but they're doing it by CSM, which probably better. Anyway, size, it meets a minimum 1 acre size requirement. It's 2.136 acres, 1.9 if you disclude the town road right away. Has plenty of frontage on town road. There's no issues with this one.
okay. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Doug Erickson, seconded by Bob Kopish. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now, agenda item number 9, land division filed by Sarah Dunbar on behalf of Ronald and Bonnie Dunbar to create one lot, town of Worcester.
So this one, they're breaking an existing lot into 2 lots. Again, this one's being done by CSM. We would not require a CSM in this situation, but I think the existing lot is just a meets and bounds, but they're doing a CSM to combine or to separate the 1 lot into 2 lots. There's no issues. You can see on the map that greater than the 1 acre, one of them's 3.3 and the other one's 4.4 acres. It's got plenty of frontage on the public road. So this one doesn't have any issues either.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Michelle Dropnik, second by
I'll second that.
Doug Erickson. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. You there, Jason?
Aye, yes.
Okay. I'm keeping track of you. Opposed? All right. Land division is approved. Departmental reports.
So, for this month, we've been fairly busy. We had a pretty dry, September and early October, so we got a lot of septics went in, a lot of mounds went in. We had our first land sale concluded on, what was the date? Last Wednesday was the final day? Yeah. We sold 5 of the parcels, I believe. There was 4 buyers that bought 5 parcels. One bought two. Yeah. So it seemed to go well, but otherwise I don't have any.
They all sold it. None.
Oh yeah, we've got 10.
Yeah, we started with 15, so 5 sold.
5
We're
sold.
down
We've
to
got 10 that are on the second.
Yeah, so the first
Second
round,
round.
the first round we have to go with a market value, which we used.
And did any sell
Siemens.
at that first round?
Yeah,
Yeah,
5
5.
of them.
Those are
5 sold at the first round. 10 of them did not receive bids for the appraised value. So
Were they all minimum bids?
No,
No, a couple
the
of them
2
went-
slivers went 4 or 5 times.
that terrible 40 up here or 36 acres went for 40,000. Went for a lot more than the minimum
Terrible
bid.
40? What's
Yeah.
terrible
Just,
about it?
There's
It's
a
all
40
wet.
acres on highway.
40 acres all
yeah.
wetland.
Highway 13.
Underwater? Yeah. Cranberry.
Might as well be. Yeah.
There was a landlocked 40 that went.
Yeah, for quite a bit above minimum. They weren't, the ones that sold for well above the minimum. The other 10 did not receive any bids. They went up on auction yesterday or Tuesday. Tuesday, that auction started. The new minimum bids is
So-
the amount owed plus all the fees and stuff combined, plus the specials, will be the minimum bid for this go around. If they don't sell on this one, and this auction concludes November 12th, they will go up for bid again with a price that's established by the executive
I
committee.
don't remember, but we usually just set it at $100 and let her go.
Yeah, we'll set the
The-
minimum bids. for a lot
And
less.
so historically, what happens is, so like if you put it at these market values, so like for example, we have an 80 or 40 acres out there. That's right. We put it at $80,000 for first
85.
bid or 85. This time we went around, we started it at 10. I think it was
Whatever
well,
was owed plus.
yeah,
the
so
fees,
it's
around
like
10 or 11,000.
10 or 11,000 bucks. So then everybody gets excited. They start bidding, and in the end, traditionally we usually see them go above what we originally put them out for bid the first time, just because it's an auction and
That one will go
Excitement.
for 75.
yeah.
That was a betting man.
So we had a
Silver on
house here in town.
5.
You remember the house in town? It was like the realtor was trying to sell for 12,000. We put it up for bid for like 11. Nobody bought it. We put it up for bid for like $500. It went to 13,000. So it was more. You never know what's going to happen with these properties. So
So those
I would-
funds are collected and our expenses come out of it, and then the money
it's
is,
returned to the
Is,
original owner.
Or
You can
put in
find
a
them.
trust account that eventually goes to the state.
Attempted to give to the original owner.
And
After 5 years, I believe it goes to the state, and then we will not see any profit
Right,
on them.
but I just so that everybody knows what happens to the cash is,
Yeah,
our
but
expenses
that's
come out
why-
of it and then the money is sequestered in.
That's why
someplace.
we had to do the first round at market, because we cannot
This is the first time that year that we've done this,
this way, correct?
this way. It's
We're
so it's
following
a
the
trial run.
new land sale ordinance.
Yeah,
So the state gets the money?
It's in the unclaimed funds, yeah.
unclaimed funds.
Oh, that way. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so it's
So-
not like they get a profit on it. It just sits in the
So it's not like
state
the funds
treasurer's
go into the
office and-
county ledger, it goes to the, somewhere else.
Well,
and-
I didn't put it in our capital improvement.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah, so that was based on a lawsuit out of Minnesota?
It was based on a
Okay.
Supreme Court decision.
Yeah, Supreme Court,
US
Tyler
Supreme
versus
Court.
Hennepin.
Yeah, but it was it was based, it was in
Minnesota,
Minnesota,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes, it was
Tyler
a US
versus
Supreme
Hennepin
Court.
County, yeah.
So hopefully they sell. I would guess that out of the 10 that we have, there's a good chance there'll be one or two that do not sell at this go around. There's a
What happens to that if it doesn't sell
Keep
ever?
going.
Huh?
Keeps going.
Keep going
So
till
if it
that's,
doesn't sell, what we'll do is it'll come back to.
I can't remember.
I think
It's executive. I think we took this committee out of it, even though Evan's a big part of it. I think executive will then decide like, okay, so one of the properties we tried to sell for 40,000. We now put it on for 11. Nobody bid. We would go to executive and saying, we have 11,500 or $11,000 in fees and taxes owed. What do you want to start the bid at? If it's $100, you may lose $10,900, but we're just trying to get it back on the tax roll. So the executive then would have to say how much they're willing to start the bid at. Now it might bid right up to the old amount. It may not. It's the heat of the auction. We never know.
there's a vacant lot in the city of Park Falls that had a house that the city of Park Falls
Oh, the
raised
raise,
that the fees are currently higher than what the appraised value was. So that one's not going to
Yeah.
sell.
Same with like we had one purchased by a municipality. And so the way that works is a little different because this we got the value and I think it was what 10 grand they owe it $10,000, but there was a raise order on it. There was specials for water and there was all the taxes. So we kept 3,000 ish. I'm doing round numbers here. We kept $3,000 of it. Municipality that bought it paid 10,000. We then wrote a check to the municipality for all the specials, so $7,000 worth, and they only paid 3,000 for it as a municipality because they got their money back. Now, if there was less than the max specials, say there was only 5,000 in specials, we would have kept 3. Municipality got 5. Previous owner would have got 2. But in this case, the specials and just like the Park Falls lot.
When they're specials, though, we are made whole first.
Yes,
before
we go first. Municipality goes second.
all right.
So
Anything else on the department reports, Evan?
I don't have.
No.
Did you have your permit?
I don't have I did not have the permit.
Oh, you
number
didn't have
one,
it,
no.
okay.
Naomi
'Cause I
didn't
didn't
have
see it in the
that
packet.
done for this month. I'll have 2 of them on there for next month.
Okay,
We'll
all
have September and October next.
right.
All right, we'll adjourn this portion of the meeting and open our land conservation. Let's see. Roll is the same. We'll call this meeting to order. Public comments and communications. Is there any public comments? Anybody online? *6 to unmute. Nobody in the room? Okay. We'll move on. Any communications from any committee participant? Any committee person wish to speak? Okay, hearing none. Agenda item number 14. Price County 2025 crop price proposal. You have, that's in your packet. Good morning.
Morning. I'm Austin Dodge with the USDA Wildlife Services. Today I got the 2025 crop price. That should be in the packet. This is the price that we're locking in for reimbursing crop damage for any of the farmers in the program.
All the things going on in the world.
Yeah.
Has the crop prices differed much from prior year?
The soybeans did take a pretty good hit. The rest of it's pretty similar because this is a year average. So a lot of that average was before a lot of this kind of started tanking on prices.
Okay,
Um,
these are market prices.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. It's not really. If you guys got any questions on it,
Any questions for Austin?
I have one quick one, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Who determines how many tons the claimant gets? Do you go out there or somebody go out there and verify it?
I will go out there. I appraise every field.
Okay.
So I'll get an amount there. I'll put it all together and then put in these prices at the end of the year, and that'll January, February, March, somewhere in there. I'll be back here to get the final claims approved by you guys and signed, and then they get paid and they get reimbursed in April or May.
Some fields are better than others as far as the
Oh, yeah.
capability. So you go out, that's why you go out there to visit every one.
Yep.
Well,
Just a question on hay prices, knowing hay.
you know, use
is-
your mic, please.
Question on hay prices, just knowing hay is way down, that
Mhm.
it seems awful lot on the tonnage on the alfalfa and alfalfa grass. How is that determined?
I know the hay prices have come down. This is still down from last year. But it was still, the hay prices were up pretty good earlier this year, so it kind of kept it up a
Yeah,
little
'cause I
bit.
mean, you can't give a hay away right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But just because it's a yearly average, it's still higher than it technically probably should be. But
Okay, any other questions for Austin? Okay, hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the prices.
I'll make a motion to
Motion
approve.
by Michelle Drodnick,
I'll second.
seconded by Bob Kopish. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll vote on it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. You want me to sign it? Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll move on to item number 15, discussion action, Karen Kerner, WDA CP eligibility. Everyone now on the committee has received a letter that's printed out from Chris Kaiser. Is there anybody from the public wish to make any comments? Austin, you're back. Okay,
it's more so, I guess, if you guys had any questions regarding it. Nothing's really changed from last time. It's still, it's just more paperwork, I guess, for what was given and what she had signed off on.
yeah, I think it's, now that we have the tons of paper,
Mhm.
it's,
Well, okay,
Um,
to be fair, I really did need the hunting regulations.
I
I'm a
didn't-
hunting instructor, so I have a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
I didn't print that one off because it would have consumed everything that I had.
It would have ran the ink while dry.
Just a question, Austin, on this information, this stuff, there's some stuff that's highlighted. What's the significance of the highlighted stuff as it pertains to what we're doing?
That's just more that's the farmer fact sheet that we give to everybody.
Yeah.
What's highlighted is more just what that farmer specifically needs to know. That wasn't necessarily me highlighting something specific for this meeting.
Okay,
That is just what I give to everyone.
okay, it's not that those were violations
No,
of these?
no.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay. Michelle?
Okay, so if the committee were to vote to remove her for this year, obviously she would be ineligible for next year, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And then she could reapply for 2027.
Correct.
My math
Yeah.
is mathing. Okay.
Mhm.
So what would happen to her claims for this year?
They wouldn't be paid out. They'd be declined just because she wasn't following the rules and regulations for the abatement that was given.
Mr. Chairman, can I speak to this?
Okay, Jason, you got the floor.
I think it's of utmost importance that we follow rules, and if we let this go, it'll affect the future of the wildlife damage claims, and believe that we should go with the DNR on this one and remove her from the being able to receive any funding for a year if she's not going to follow the rules. It's not once or twice, or it's happened multiple times. And Martin Luther King Jr. once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I believe that's important to uphold that right now.
Okay. Any other comments?
I guess I would just agree with Jason there that, I mean, the rules are very clear here and we did have a violation of the rules. And in the past, we actually have kicked people out of the program for years. So I would think we should stay in that doing consistency that to follow the DNR recommendation.
Any other comments before we ask for a motion? Okay, I am going to ask for a motion to sustain the allegation that's called out in this letter.
Go with
We'll sustain it. Exactly. Do I hear a motion?
And what's the motion again?
To
To,
go with the recommendation of the DNR to
well, they already issued a citation and,
take her out of the
yeah,
remove her from the program.
uphold the action that's been taken, basically.
What do you need, Austin?
We have some authority. from the-
I just need a motion that says, that she's being removed, that you guys are okay with her being removed from the program for this year and next year, or vice versa, whatever you guys decide. But I just need a motion one way or the other, and then I'll have to write up a letter and send it to her on whatever the answer is.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure what the monetary value is involved here, but
I don't think that we even need to know.
I don't, well, maybe not, but, and I'm not suggesting or asking for it at this time, but is it possible for this body to, instead of having it 2 years, just 1 year?
It's in statute and code that
It's 2
it
years.
has to be.
That's in the statute?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I need.
I'll make the motion that we agree with the action taken by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources in this matter.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jason. The motion was made by Bob Kopish, seconded by Jason Hastings. Is there any further discussion? Michelle?
So
You're anxious, I can see.
I know my wheels are turning. So this is just under Karen's name.
Mhm.
So like, could her husband apply then? Or does it go towards the whole farm? I mean, right, but if, say, Greg is listed on it, I mean, here, let's dumb this down for Michelle even more. If, Jeff and I were both on the property
Mm.
and it was just him who applied for it, could I then apply?
My understanding would it would just be.
Does it make sense what I'm trying to
Yeah,
ask?
I know.
Okay.
My understanding would be connected to the farm, correct?
Let me just answer that. It's gonna
State your name,
follow.
sir? Your name?
Jeremy Irish, Wildlife Services, representing Wildlife Services.
Thank you.
Wildlife Damage Program. It's gonna represent the tax identity of the farm.
Okay.
All right, so if they're both listed as farm owners or, as the ownership of the entity on the tax ID, no, he cannot apply.
Okay. So this is maybe for this certain properties. Could they apply for other properties? Or does it take them out of the running for all properties under their name or associated with their names?
So the damage program is crop ownership. So if her ownership, or not just ownership, but the ownership of the crop is what it is. So let's say she has 1,000 acres of leased land and 1,000 acres of owned land.
Mhm.
It would apply to all of that because she is the crop owner
Okay.
or that entity.
Yeah, that question might be out of our obligation of our authority. Okay, we have a motion and a
Mhm.
second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, we'll vote on the matter. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion is approved. The ayes have it. Department reports.
Did he say department? Oh, okay, I don't have anything new in this month for department reports, getting snowmobile contracts and all that.
You gonna have
snowmobile
any
stuff
snow?
ready for the season. What's that?
Are you forecasting any snow?
No.
Farmer's Almanac said snow, so good as I can go, I think. But yeah, otherwise we're just finalizing our soil and water resource management grants and get ready for paying the snowmobile clubs for their various projects. Otherwise, I don't have anything.
All right, any questions for Evan? All right, we will adjourn this portion of the meeting, which is land conservation. And we'll work down into miscellaneous, which is agenda item number 18, minutes from September 18th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Michelle. Seconded by Bob Kopish. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, committee vouchers, I believe they've gone around.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Doug Erickson,
I'll second.
seconded by Michelle Drobnik. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Vouchers are approved. Set next meeting date, November 20th. Is that right in the middle of hunting season?
No.
No, it's
Right
2 days
before.
before.
Huh?
It's 2 days before.
Oh, okay.
That'd be Thanksgiving
I'm
if
just
it was the
checking.
Thursday in the middle of hunting season. But I don't, well, that depends on Amber.
Amber always wants to have one.
I thought we were meeting this month.
So
I'm okay with not having one. The final plat situation, I don't think that'll probably be back from the DOA, or I don't know if Al will have it done at that point, but we don't have.
all right, so tentatively we'll keep it on the agenda or on the calendar because that's
Cancel
what
a
we've
week
been doing. We usually cancel about 2 to 3 weeks out if we see no need to. However, I'm assuming December, make sure that one's available only because this
Yeah.
plat is probably coming.
That, and yeah, if we have anything else, or
Yeah.
we can, we'll schedule that. We'd be looking at Friday 18th, I believe.
Yeah, so I would keep them both on the calendar. You'll get a message from Meredith saying canceled if we get about 2 to 3 weeks out and there's nothing. It's worked well all year.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Okay, just a little bit of levity. You had this thing about Thanksgiving, and the meeting would be in the middle of, on Thanksgiving if it was during deer season. My wife was in some email thing with somebody yesterday, and the person that was part of it asked what day of the week Thanksgiving was this year. So just, you know,
Was it an adult that asked that?
I did get that wrong in sixth grade on a math test. I can still remember. Mrs. Jackson was the teacher. And it was like an extra question, like kind of like.
Why would that be on a math test?
Right. Well, days of the week, I have no idea, but I got
Oh,
it
you
wrong.
got that
I just
wrong?
want you to know
what
in
day
sixth
did you
grade.
say, Monday?
I mean, I guess I just never really paid attention at that point.
Uh-huh.
So don't make fun of people. People are challenged in different ways.
It's Thursday, Amber.
I know now.
Let's see, where are we going here? All right, so we got that taken care of. UW Extension, the call to order and the roll call would be the same.
Packets for me.
Any public comment? Any communications from any member of the committee? Thank you. Okay.
What's going on?
Yes.
All right.
You can go anytime you want.
All right, we'll move to quarterly agenda item number 23, quarterly educator reports 4-H.
Julie's here.
Dooley's here.
Here.
Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome.
I'm ready. All right, so it has been a busy summer. You'll see on the first thing on the sheet that you have, talking about our summer intern and our AmeriCorps member that really helped us have some extra capacity to be able to do some things. Couple of those things that you'll see listed there was we were able to do Lego robotics with Prentice schools after their summer school a couple of different times, and then with Park Falls on 4 different occasions. So reaching audiences that we wouldn't normally be able, I just wouldn't have the capacity to do. One of the things that they were most proud of that they did is they organized an older youth expedition to Minocqua. And so they went up there and they went zip lining and went to the zoo and learned all about animals and stuff, and different kind of animals than what most of them usually have, and did some other activities as well. Had a chance to interact with youth from different counties. And so that was really a nice thing. So both of the young ladies that we had did a nice job helping throughout this summer. You can see some of the other things that they helped with as well. Going on down to camp, this year we had 11 campers, 2 counselors, and 3 adult staff that went, volunteers that went as staff. The counselors spent 2 different times. Well, actually they had a couple of hour and a half long Zooms that they were on. Then they had kind of a full day training. And then the night before they showed up and finished learning some things and getting ready to prepare for camp. And they really did a nice job. And so it's a great leadership opportunity for them. Some of the things that they get to do at camp, we go to Northern Lakes Impact Center, which is over by Rhinelander. It's a wonderful facility. They get to do things like a rock climbing wall, which most of these youth don't have a chance to do very often. This year we had some different things. Every year we do the rock climbing wall. That's one that it's just on our must-do list. But then we try and change up the other sessions. One of the ones that the camp offered was outdoor survival. And the kids really enjoyed that, learning things about, creating a shelter, making a fire, all of those things along that lines. And that was really fun to watch. We also had a forensic scientist from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab come and do a session for the kids on basic forensic science stuff. And so that, and it was real hands-on. I mean, they got to do their fingerprint. You take your fingerprint and you put it on an ink pad, you put it on a balloon, then you blow up the balloon and you can see the fingerprint way larger. Kind of a cool activity. And they did some other ones as well. They did some different team building activities. Their waterfront is just fabulous. They have paddle boats and stand-up boards and what else? Swimming, numerous things out there. They have these things called corkles that I'm kind of amazed by. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Mini golf, they make a lot of relationships and get to know youth from other areas. Some of them, we have several. Every time we do this, we ask the parents, okay, what do we need to know before camp? And one of the common was, this is the first time that our kids really been away from home. And so, we feel kind of honored to be able to give them a safe outing, a good one where we know they're going to learn things, where they're going to have a good experience. And it has been for them. Moving on down to the Horse Council. Horse Council had a really good summer this year that they've done open horse shows for quite a while, but this year they just expanded the number of people that were there, the number of opportunities that the kids had. And so that went really well for them. Going on to the Spirit Fair did not have the best weather for that day. They still had quite a few exhibits in the building. Their animals were down. People woke up that morning and thought, yeah, this is not the day to do this. So that was down a little bit, but still some great activities and went well. Coming to the Price County Fair, we had mostly really good weather for that. Thing about the fairs is there's such a great opportunity for kids to showcase what they've learned in 4-H throughout the year. A lot of times people almost equate 4-H and the fair, and there's just so much more to it. But it is a great capstone activity that they can show off what they have learned throughout the year. The auction went well, the fundraising, huge thanks to the youth and volunteers that spend so many hours in the dining hall and dairy bar making that happen, because that's our funding for many of the activities that we do throughout the year. Provide scholarships to our seniors, to youth going on travel experiences, helps with day camps, helps out with our Project Saturday. There are just many activities that we are able to help fund because of that. So huge thanks to them. Speaking of volunteers, we have some great volunteers. Well, pretty much all volunteers are great, but have some that do some above and beyond even. And one of them is Becky Denzine that has really helped us out with Project Saturdays. She's done this, I don't know, this is probably about the third year that she's done it really consistently. She's done once a month on a Saturday. She will have these awesome activities for the kids to do. Most of them are craft type activities, but the kids come and do things. Again, the adult leaders help offset some of the costs for that, because some of those projects, quite honestly, when we have a couple of kids that come to almost all of them, and it would be a chunk of change for them on some of those activities, but those are offset by the adult leaders. But they come in, you can see a couple of pictures of them working on, this was actually at their most recent one where they were working on some fall decor using mason jar lids and then making some wreaths. Going on down to our club updates, it's just impossible really in one paragraph to give you all that our clubs do, because I'm going to add just a few things to this real quickly. Our Prentice Club, they have I tell you, I can't scroll far enough back on their Facebook page because they have so many things going. And so but they have lots of activities going. They have helped partner with the Lions Park. They're doing some fundraising for that. They just this last meeting, I know that they were sampling different kinds of apples, and they had gotten those from the school orchard. And so some really good partnerships going on there. Ken and Catawba clubs have been involved in a number of things. They helped out with the dairy breakfast, the Price County Dairy Breakfast this year. The Casey Clovers help out with put on the Easter egg hunt each year. Just several different things. One of our clubs in Ogama, they cleaned the highway. They had a float at their Christmas tree festival, in addition to the other things that I listed there. So and I know I still haven't come close to telling you all of the things that they do. So now we've kind of wound down our 24-25 year. 4-H year actually starts October 1. But enrollment actually opened September 4th. So we have people already enrolling. Our volunteers are enrolling. We actually heard from volunteers that sometimes the process is not so easy. But this year I've heard this is the most smooth process of enrolling in 4-H as a volunteer that we have had in quite a few years. So they were very thankful for that. And I'm thankful for them too. Just one last thing. Over the summer, I was looking at my reporting stuff yesterday. I have 53 activities that I know of that happened. And I know that there are some that I didn't split up and separate. And so there are more than that. We had 737 youth. Sometimes those are the same kid doing multiple things, but like the kids that we had at the Park Falls, Lego robotics, most of those would not have done another 4-H type activity had it not been for that. Again, with the Prentice School, most of them would not have. And so our day camps, we often reach kids, library programs. So we try to have activities not just for our kids that are already involved in the 4-H community program, but also for other youth and hopefully getting them excited about it. Had over 547 times that adults were helping us. So for a total number of 1,284 people at least 218 hours. So our total program hour numbers just during the summer was just over 4,500. And those are just the ones that I know of and can count. And I know there are those that I didn't. So I just want to thank you for your continuing support for 4-H and see if you have any questions for me.
That was just an outstanding report, Julie, especially the parts about where the reality or the forensic thing. These
Right.
Kids that never been away from home, all of a sudden you're going to ask them what kind of a career path they're going to have. Well, that's going to significantly stick in their mind. And you also talked about the camping in Rhinelander over there.
Right.
Just to relate a short story, I was the scoutmaster. This would have been in the 80s. And we took a group but it was a winter event.
Oh, right.
And that day it never got above 20 below. And there was kids that actually camped out in that weather. And to this day, those kids who are all now grown up, they remember that, and that I was trying to freeze them to death.
They made a memory.
It was a memorable day, but those types of things make an impression. So well spoken there, Julie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a couple questions.
Sure.
It seems like you had a pretty good year from what you're reported here.
I think so.
How are the numbers going with the participants? Are you seeing
So
the trend line?
what I can tell you, what I think you're asking me, Bob, is how many 4-H members do we have enrolled in Price County 4-H right now? Is that what you're asking?
That's an indicator because you have duplicate people in different. activities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So last year we ended the year with 118 youth and with 35 volunteers.
Okay.
So what I can tell you from that is if you went back 20 years, you probably had 400 kids,
Okay.
maybe 300. So we're down considerably. So I don't want to discount that in
No.
any way, shape, and form. I will say it seems so lame to go back to this, but COVID was really a tough time for youth organization, for businesses, for churches, for many groups. And I think we have bounced back some since then. I mean, we were right around 100 then, as I remember. And so up 20% since then, close. So those numbers are, and I think there are so many more options for youth now than there were even 20 years ago. And so I don't know that we would ever quite make it back to that.
Yeah.
And I'll be real honest too, when I'm here half time, it's hard to do what a full-time person would do. And that's not to say that it's all on the 4-H educator by any means. I think there are some trends in that, but I do think that it's encouraging to see the number of youth that we're able to reach through doing things like the after-school program. You know, we did trunk or treat last year, and there were like 150 to 200 kids that came through, and we were able to hand out little 4-H promo items and tell them about, and you know, we'd hand them a brochure, and some of the parents go, "Oh, I've been wanting to know about that." And others of them just put it in the bag. And, you know, that's the nature of the game.
Okay.
But I feel like we're doing what we can. Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, I guess because I see the schools are all having issues with enrollment. I mean, I don't have the kids, and Butternut's got a problem, and Park Falls numbers are down. So I don't know where Phillips is at. I imagine it's down. So I would assume the trend is like this, and you just don't see people having the children they used to have. So I'm just I kind of expected you to say that it was down. I didn't realize 400 to 118, but you're going back 20 years. And that's when
Right.
maybe there were still families that had 10, 12 kids then. I don't know, but
Well, the youth population is about half in Price County
Yeah.
of what it was 20 years ago
Okay.
too. So you
Okay.
have to take that number and then, I mean, we're still not at half, right? Because that would be about 200. So we're still not reaching, but the culture has changed too, the way that people engage in community. And so I think when Julie lifts up this, so I share from a broader perspective across the state and in the area that I serve. Our numbers here are pretty good for the number of youth we have. So when we look at, a Lincoln County, which has a lot more youth, you're not seeing a ton more youth in the program. And they probably have 150 more. But when you think about the percentage of youth, we're doing really well. So, and that is, I would say, Julie does a great job at 50%. And so we're really fortunate because it is tough to keep those kind of numbers when you don't have somebody investing full time.
so Julie should get a lot of credit.
She
Because
should.
I think a wonderful
should.
job. Takes a lot of energy to keep this stuff going and the time spent. Another question on the camp. We had the camp with 11 Price County. Does Taylor County participate in that same camp?
Yes,
So they have a picture with their people.
they do.
Oh, okay. I was
They
just wondering.
do.
So it's
And then we had a group, and then we also camped with Lincoln County and Landglade
okay,
County. So
okay.
we actually had about 75 people at camp.
Okay.
So it was not just our group
That's a
there.
good interaction with other. towns.
Absolutely.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, food wise, Wendy. Morning.
Morning. Okay, I just wanted we're in our wind down era for Foodwise. Actually, it's already October 1st was, the end of the grant. So I'll be done December 1st, just as a reminder. And so I just wanted to come, and I do have some programming I wanted to report on. I had the school in Park Falls, the garden there was fabulous. There's a lot of potential still there in case you guys ever have the opportunity of, if funds come back and somebody is wanting, I think there's still so much opportunity out there to have somebody in not only nutrition, but wellness and those programs because it's just, even though they're like when Julie, I was sitting there listening about all the things that Julie has, been able to facilitate, I guess, through volunteers and sometimes through herself. Some of those programs, they're great. The kids love them. But I think the unique perspective that I was sitting there thinking about was with Extension, we do have the education component. And I think that's so important. And even though if it might just be seem like a fun activity, there usually is some education going on. So I just think that's a really unique spot that Extension has in all the activities, not only the youth activities, but some of the other community activities. So just a plug in case you're ever moving forward and have funds and looking at where you want to put it. I just think there's still so much potential out there. So I digress. The garden program in Park Falls was really great. We had the summer youth, but there's a lot of potential to start that with the after school program, lead into that gardening, and then take it, there's a lot of like harvesting in the fall that we missed out on because, for a number of reasons, but I'm not sure where their after school funding is actually going with anything right now either. But so there's a lot of potential there to really, the kids were very engaged. When you see the kids running out of the school for the summer programming and being super excited to come to the garden because they want to see how big the squash has gotten since last week, or they, want to make some hummus dip because they want to try the pea pods in the hummus dip, things like that, that I think really make a difference in the kids' overall health, even though it doesn't seem like big things. I think sometimes all these little things do add up. And we had some wonderful programming at the Phillips School the past couple of months. They have a food service director that is just really, really great. I mean, there's so much energy there. The kids come into the lunchroom. It's not like your traditional, the lunch ladies, like maybe some people had that, and come on, move them out. She is, we worked with her a little bit on doing like a harvest of the month. It's a program that a lot of schools are doing, getting kids to eat obviously more fruits and vegetables and trying to look at some of the local foods. And the kids were really excited. She went above and beyond and we had squash last month that we were focusing on. You would not believe the amount of kids that actually ate squash. And it was, I dressed up as a pumpkin and went around and, we just made it fun. And then we had bins there that people could put their little cup if they liked it, and then if they didn't like it. So I thought that was a really unique way and there were a lot that did. So little things like that. And to hear the kids, then last month we did apples. So of course I had to dress up as an apple then. And it was fun to hear how many kids said, I've never been able to eat a whole apple before. Like nobody has ever let me, they've always had them cut up, which I thought was just kind of interesting. They were super excited. They all got a whole apple. So those were kind of some of the programming I did. And I'm assuming she will continue. And so right now I'm just kind of winding down, and I just wanted to thank everybody for all the years of support. And if you have any questions or,
Well,
anything.
we certainly want to thank you for your admirable employment here for a lot of years. You were well thought of, and we're going to certainly miss you and the services that you did provide.
Well,
So
thank you. Thank you.
I
It's
think that
been,
we ought to give her a round of applause.
oh. No, thank you guys. It's been great to be able to work with the people that I have, from the 4-year-olds to the seniors. I mean, to walk into a classroom and have 34-year-olds give you a hug. I mean, come on. Doesn't get any better
Be
than
missed.
So, well, thank you. And if you have any questions or
Bob?
anything moving forward.
And I probably know what the answer is, but is anything happening at the state level to try to sustain these programs? Because I know we did a resolution. I don't know if any other counties did, but you send a resolution to Madison, and where does it go? I'm not sure.
Right.
I've given up on the federal government.
Right.
They've got
right.
so many problems in Washington that
Yeah.
whatever. And it's affecting not only this program, it's affecting other programs that are federally funded,
Right.
that are necessary programs.
Right.
Is there anything happening?
They have not shared with us anything that Amber might know more, but I'll let Amber take over because, yeah,
Yeah.
they have not shared with us. So thank you.
So I think it's super complex, right? So there was this education portion of SNAP Ed that got cut, but there also was some of the benefits from SNAP Ed, right? That they're changing the way that that is given. So that also creates some challenges both for the state and county. And I think that's where they're focusing some attention on right now. Because in order to get some of those funds, counties are going to have to show a certain level of non-error. I think it's like an error thing. And if you are above that, the county is going to have to find the money in order. So there have been some additional, and I think that was on you. I think you already have
Yeah,
you done
yeah.
a resolution on that?
Yep. So there was, like Amber's stating, there's two different areas, the education area and then the administration of the funding for individuals who receive monies through the program. The receiving monies through the program, that's going to be based on an error rate. Positive note, Price County's consortium is less than 5% error rate. We're about 3.5, 3.8, whatever it is. So we would not get a penalized funding. The problem is right now there's still no funding from the Fed to do the program for the state as a whole, which is $40 million. If that money is then not found at the state level, the counties would be responsible with coming up with the administrative costs of $40 million. Our consortium would be about $1 million of that. So even though we're a large area, we're not a lot of administrative costs, but it'd be $1 million. We believe that'll be between $40,000 and $80,000 of county money that we'd have to come up to continue to administer the program, not to pay the whatever the payments are to the individuals that are on these programs. So we would have to come up with administrative costs. Now, if our error rate changed to more than 5%, then there's additional funding you would have to come up with locally. That's, I think, first priority at the state,
That's
whether
why
you
I
like
brought
it or
up.
not.
I mean,
yeah,
that's why I brought it up. It's like, I think that's the priority.
is to come up with the 40 million in that funding. Then the second level is the education, which I believe was 92 individuals throughout the state. That's a separate, I haven't heard a lot on that one. I know there's a lot of asks, but no movement. The 40 million is what's concerning locals, because that's where the money, you're going to have to come up with the money locally if the state doesn't come up with the 40 million.
And what is the program? Is it the program that Wendy's been doing?
No,
Or
it would
something
be
different?
like through Health and Human Services.
Yeah. I mean, so
This is more
So
the
SNAP
aid
Ed-
aspect of SNAP? Okay,
Right.
it's not the ed part.
Correct. Two different
not the
divisions.
education
Oh, okay.
piece.
Aid
So
is
it
what,
it doesn't help us out. with
No.
that.
It doesn't, but my point in bringing it up is that that's where the time and energy is being focused on right now. Is that's where the concern is that piece. And then hopefully they will look at the education piece, and I trust that they will, because right, like the reason it came about, the education piece, is because there was concern about how the dollars were being spent when people received those funds. And so, but again, the priority right now is on the administering of getting the funds to the people.
Yeah.
And then I think education will come.
yeah, and that,
next.
like Amber said, so aid is priority. That's what we're hearing legislators
That's what
talk
we're
about.
hearing.
It's what we're hearing the governor talk about. The education is exactly, it came because there was concern by legislators and people saying, whoa, we see these people receiving aid, but they're not doing it how we see should happen. So we created these programs to help. So it was kind of like part of the program, the aid. Now that's going away. The university is definitely talking about the education side, but I don't hear it at Madison, I guess is
Okay,
the
the
difference.
university's not involved with this other part.
No.
The aid,
No,
that's all
because we're
separate.
the education
Okay,
piece
so,
of it.
so the university is discussing maybe ways of coming back and running an education program?
So I think, yes, that is a goal. I think, and there is definitely a need. And so, for example, and I think I shared this last time, I look at one of, Florence County really was a county that I think just it has one school district. It looks very different. And so when we ended up losing this funding, right away they wanted a position to continue the programming that was happening. And so we didn't have right, like all of your positions are co-funded, or most of our county educator positions are co-funded. So you pay part of Julie, we pay part. The FoodWise educators, that wasn't the case, right? They were fully federally funded. So they weren't state or county. So when you talk about trying to find the resources at both the county and state level within UW, right, our budget, there really hasn't been money set aside ever for those. So even as I entertained conversations about adding, people are open and want to, but the funds that are available for those additional positions are kind of creating pause in the process. So I think people are open, people see the need, communities want it, and where do we find the funds in those two pockets of money? Because you all know counties don't have money sitting around waiting to go into positions. And we at the university right now are looking at a 1.5, like within extension, a 1.5 million cut for the upcoming year. So, and that's not even with FoodWise, that's separate from FoodWise.
Right. And so what,
Am I making sense or not really?
Right. So it's 100% federally funded. There's
Yes.
definitely interest of it. There's definitely conversations we've had with the university, with Amber's next up with Jason, saying, hey, how is this going to look? How are we going to do it? It can't happen overnight. So even if we said we are interested and then we did something with the budget, it would be a next year for 2027, because by the time you create and recruit and do all the process, we're nowhere there. Plus, the university would have to find the funding, where Amber just said they're already having a $1.5 million issue. So they can't just add 92 positions at half funded. So there's a lot of mechanisms happening here. I see, based on the conversation I've had with Jason and Amber, there's possibility. It would be bringing something back, would be an educator, a youth educator, something that would work well here that could do some of that, the garden at the school or education, but it's not going to be FoodWise. It's not going to be the same thing. The other problem is FoodWise was its own program. That programming all goes away. So really, the university, they could take that program, but they really have to create their own education to fit those needs. So there's a lot of mechanisms here that it doesn't happen overnight. And it's on our radar. It's on our ask list. Amber and I have talked about it several times.
And many counties are.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think what you're raising, Bobby, I think there are conversations. I think the solution is complex.
Well, let's stay with it.
We will.
Yeah.
We're navigating it.
All right. Thank you.
Amber won't let me forget. And Michelle,
trying.
yeah.
Okay, you again have the floor. So the directors.
Michelle.
Hi, right here. Hi, Ellen. Still here. I am up. Short person problems. Okay, so I'm sure this is a larger question, but obviously I want to make sure it's on the radar. So if we were able to go to a full-time educator, is that something that could maybe be engulfed into like a 4-H educator standpoint? Like if we went to a full-time, if the county did, would they be able to develop something from there? I'm right. I know there's a lot of moving pieces to that as well, because
So
like
you're talking
the
about
partnership.
we have a half person right now. That's the only.
Correct. Like we have the half-time 4-H educator, which Julie does a great job, right? I mean, if say Julie was able to be just solely Price County, you know, like, I mean, right, take her away from Taylor County or whatever, or if we could hire a person for that position and not, you know, make all the dominoes fall at once. Don't make it look like I'm hurting your head.
My head hurts, but keep going. Keep going.
Would that for the interim, like, obviously I know being a 4-H volunteer and all of that, like there are still a gajillion things that they could do that they are unable to do because they are a half-time person. I think personally, we would hugely benefit from having a full-time in Price County. They'd be able to do a lot more and reach a lot more youth. That being said, would you feel that there might be an opportunity to still do some of like the gardening projects or that sort of thing and still have that partnership, even if it's through 4-H, if they were full-time, to pick up some of what Wendy's leaving?
So I think I appreciate out of the box thinking, Michelle, and we should always in small rural communities be thinking in that way because resources are limited. So that is my first answer. The second answer is I think yes, and right. I think what you mentioned, the community garden and some of those things, I think an educator could definitely work with a volunteer who has the expertise in that field. When we start to think about some of the health and wellness, right, we have different levels of experience in education that people bring around that particular topic. So Julie may have a background in health and wellness and be fully suited to do both a 4-H and a health and well-being position. That's possible. It's probably rare. Most of our 4-H educators don't necessarily come in with that kind of background and expertise. So it doesn't mean that you couldn't. It would just mean some real clear scoping about the role of the position and then what people who apply for that job would need, what kind of education and background in order to do that well. Because, right, we want to make, I mean, yes, I think one of the points Wendy made is that on the outside, these look like fun programs, which they are, and we always want kids to walk away from that. But what I also hope our educators are bringing, the hope and the intent is that there is some research behind how the program is being implemented and there are educational principles and practices that were utilized. I mean, that's what you're paying for, right? When you have the university being connected, you're hoping that that's what you're getting. So I want to make sure that we also honor that. And I'm not saying people can't do both, but it is a concern. And so we definitely could look at it. And as we think about scoping in the year ahead, that could definitely be a consideration. Because when you have a full-time educator, you also save $10,000, right? So then you're not looking at even a huge jump to add. And so, I mean, it's something we can talk about. For sure.
And these are the conversations we are having with
Right.
Amber. So Amber and I have these
Yes.
kind of conversations. Jason and I have these conversations with Amber. We're all working together to say, what can we do here? And it doesn't happen overnight. There's not only the hurdle here to what's the plan, how does it work, but the university has to agree to it also. Again, their $1.5 million issue there, they are 100% on board. If we can come up with a plan that makes sense for this community and what goals we have and what scope of work we want to see, they're ready to work with us. But that still doesn't happen. Like today, you can't go, we want it and it'll be here tomorrow. It's a year-long process to get into where we need to be with the university, where we need to be locally, where we need to be with what programming and the scope of work. We're working on it. And once we come up with a viable plan that not only the university says we'll fund it if you guys say yes, but again works with us, that's when we start bringing it to the committee and say, okay, Amber and I talked, we've heard your requests of we want to see how this program can come back or grow or do different things through UW. Here's what we're coming up with. How should we tailor it? So there's a process. I wish it happened overnight. It doesn't. It's not going to. But I want you to know we are working on it. Like I said, Amber and I talk.
I think the other piece that I just thought about as well is that we're also recognizing that counties have limited funding, thinking about how we expand our partnerships, right? Like that's been the only funding partner in a community. But in these small rural communities, the one I'm working on in Florence, we're working with the school district too. They have some gaps, can't hire full time, right? Like, and so looking at like this just being creative and thinking outside of the box. And so that takes discussions. It takes a lot of hard work and memoranda. I mean, you create additional layers. So, but know that I think, again, back to your question, Bob, they are being, the discussions are happening. And I hope and believe that we will come out with some solutions that help support the education and programming we were doing.
Yeah, I think the legislators are worried about the funding on the administrative side. The university is really working hard to say, how do we retool? How it's 2026 and it's how do we make sure to go forward to educate and keep these programs going within our budget? So they're going to have to not reorganize, but re-look at how their educators go out and do what they do, what programming they have. And it may be a zero cost. It may be, okay, now we have a request to the state that it's $2 million. I don't know where they're at. So it's a lot of moving parts.
Well, again, I don't want to see this fall apart. I think we need to keep putting the effort into it because I think we need to get to where we want to get,
Agreed.
which is to have the programming and, okay,
Agreed.
thank you. Good discussion.
Yeah. Yep. We can keep talking about it. I mean, I think, and bringing up updates, I think that's really important. I think that's a really good segue. I think Alan kind of gave me permission and then Michelle talked, so I can keep going with my AED. Yeah. So I think this is a really good segue to that. I mentioned the 1.5. And so I know Nick received a survey, maybe I sent it to a couple of others about the role of the AED. So you all ended up with me about a year ago when Art retired as the AED. And now they are looking at that structure overall. And in order to absorb that 1.5 million, one of the places within, right, they don't want to cut educators on the ground. So one of the ways that they're looking at, you know, helping to balance their budget is at the AED role. And so possibly expanding those areas that individuals have. I'm pretty sure that I cannot be expanded any more than what I currently have. But I think originally when Art had come to you, the intent wasn't long-term. It was really in order for them to do some research around the role and what's really able. And so I think, you know, I think 6 months is probably what originally had been thought. And now we're at a year. And I think it just may be what it is. So again, I don't think as they continue to roll this out, I don't think you'll see any major changes. I think, you know, there is a possibility that this area may be a slight bit smaller, right? But just so you know that will be coming, and I'll share probably the next time we meet, have an update on what that will look like and what area Price County will be a part of. So if you have felt like you are not getting the support you need here, then please make sure you let Nick know so that he can communicate that with Extension leadership. Just so you know.
What are you saying, that we're going to see less of you, or?
I don't think you'll see what you've seen in the year, but you're not going to see more.
We're already unique with this situation because when Art left, we ended up, you ended up with kind of two areas where what they're saying is throughout
they're going to
the
look
state-
at some other areas and do some combining.
So if everybody used to have 4, they might go, everybody has
Then
5, which
you're
would
not
reduce
sure how
the-
that's what that looks like yet.
We don't. Nope, we're not sure. But what I do know for sure is that this area will not get any bigger. Or you'll be having a whole new person supporting you for sure. So, but no, I mean, in seriousness, if you are concerned that in the last year you haven't got what you needed, and maybe this will lead to the next discussion because you're going to see my inability to do all things well. But then please make sure you let Nick know. So, or you can reach out directly to Jason and Jeremy. We're really working on it now. And the priority is our partnership, these county partners, and making sure that you're getting what you need. So
Yeah, I'm meeting with actually the leadership next week, Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday, whatever. Wednesday, I drive down Tuesday, so I'm meeting with the Dean Carl, and then Jason. Who's the other one? There's your 5 leadership people, and then we through WCA because that's part of my role as a board member there.
okay, any questions about that? All right. So that leads us to Alan was so smart at the last meeting, and he said, how is this, like, you're losing staff, and how are you going to be able to do the reality fair? And Amber, in all of her optimism, was like, I can do it. No worries, Alan, I've got it. I don't. Okay, so the reality is Rachel and I met. We had a great discussion. We're super excited. We have outlined the day. We have key community collaborators. And then I just couldn't get, we really need the young people. They will have to fill out information beforehand. Then we take that
Young
information.
people, they're the students?
The students, yeah, like they'll get, so they can pick what occupation they want, right? If we're gonna make it realistic and
Yeah.
connect it to what their goals are, then we have to do, and so I have that created. I didn't get it to the school. So Rachel and I met this week, or we connected this week, and I was like, I just can't do it by November 15th or whatever it was. So with the budget situation we have in the area I cover. So
Boy, see,
you have a new
ooh,
save the date. I am
February
so
4th.
sorry. I'm sorry, but we will have a new support staff who can help make that happen realistically for the reality fair, which I don't live in reality most days.
Well, I'll speak to Amber here a little bit too. I thought she was being a little aggressive with her date. Just to be honest, and that's how we started the meeting. We did meet with the school counselor as well, Nikki Seidenbender. So the three of us had a productive meeting. We talked about some breakout sessions that we want to do. Logistically, we're going to have about 100 students, trying to figure out where those kids were all going to be, how many could manage going through the rotations. We brainstormed some key potential speakers that could talk to the students about financial things that are going to affect them in their real life. And identified some community members that may be able to help with some of those small breakout sessions, just some real talk with the kids, right? About this is
Right.
what life is going to look like for you. And going through some of that stuff. And then in the schools, we also had a couple of different events. We had the Veterans Day program that was going to be close to that time. And then it was the school counselor shared that we are going to be having a sextortion presentations for our students in our community. And that also was scheduled for that week because it's in conjunction with some staff from Oneida County. It is a topic that's of concern for our youth. I mean, it's happening and we want to make them aware and so that they can stay safe. And so it really does work better to push this out a little bit. November, December, because of where the holidays fall, we only have 15 days of school in both of those months. And
So
when
it's
holiday
still
co-
on, but
Yep.
it's going to be moved to February.
It
It
will
is.
be February 4th from 8:30 to 11:30. We'll have the juniors and seniors take part because we don't want the seniors to miss out. And then we'll look at the age range and inviting other folks after we get this first year under our belt. So looking for volunteers if anybody wants to help out that day.
Yeah. So I apologize and know that I really thought I could do it, but I can't.
Just don't let it happen again.
I'll try. I can't promise. There are so many things. This is going to come as a shock when you're responsible for 7 counties and a couple tribal nations in there. There's a lot that comes up that you don't have any control over. Isn't that weird?
Does anybody want me to talk to Jason about this?
Yeah, please, if you are, and again, and that's not, I'm not joking. I mean, if this is a concern, we definitely, since I sat here a year ago, we've been talking about it. I don't want to push it out, but as I've said many times, I also want to make sure it's well done so that we have a good starting point as we bring in the other schools in the county and move forward. So I wish I was here more. I'm really not in Price County a lot. You do, because you have the least amount of staff, you also get the least amount of me. And I apologize. I wish it was closer for me.
I participated in some of the pre-COVID reality fairs, and I think the kids deserve it. I've always thought it was well done, and even the community participated, and there were a lot of business leaders there, and
Yeah.
there were a lot of questions and for the kids because they need to know where they're headed.
Yeah.
So this is really important, I think.
I think so too, Alan. And again, we're committed to it and we want to do it well. So much has changed. And so trying to incorporate those changes into it. And I don't know that, that's been part of our challenge as well, is most young people will do a majority of their finances electronically. They won't be using checkbooks and other things. So as we call it a reality fair, that's been something Rachel and I are really committed to, is how do we make it as real as possible so that I think they still need to learn how to write a check. We're not disagreeing, but as we think about a majority of what they'll do, so how can we incorporate an app so that they're seeing some of how they can utilize some of those electronics in a useful way moving forward.
There's
So,
a risk associated with that too.
right,
with
absolutely.
Somebody's always trying to get you.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think that's one of the things we're really excited about as we thought about 100 students. And so I think, you know, we're going to stagger the time. The students are going to be broke up into, I think we talked about 4 different groups. And so they will be in the auditorium with some speakers talking about some of that, like some of the security risks, also saving and investing. So some of the things they may not get. So we're going to have a couple of different speakers. So that will be a chunk of their time. And then they'll come in and rotate in, and another group will come. And so we're keeping not as many kids in the main space so that they could, you know, they don't have to wait in line to buy a car for like 25 minutes. Right. I mean, but so we can keep things moving. And then again, have some of our community experts where those kids in smaller groups can ask questions, can learn more, can be curious. And so we'll set them up for that. So, I mean, again, the planning hasn't stopped, and it's not like we aren't, but we're just wanting to make sure we build that out strong. So
Okay,
thank you.
Appreciate it.
No, and thank you for your grace. I'll do better. Outside of that, exciting, we did hire a new administrative support. And so I do want to acknowledge, when I work in many counties, you get to see many processes, and Jennifer Miller does an incredible job. So really grateful for her support in hiring. We have somebody starting next week, Wednesday. Julie has,
Phillips?
yep, here in Price County. Mhm. Yep. So we're not exactly sure what the hours for the extent. We're going to work with Julie and her to determine the best hours for the office. But
Right now that office is vacant, isn't it?
it is vacant. Yep. Yep. Danae went to the Prentice School at the beginning of the school year. And so we got it posted. Jennifer did a great job and have moved as quick as we could with the hiring. So yeah. So they will start and be able to help us with this project and all of the other projects, while also working with the foot traffic that does come in with bugs and plants and water and soil and whatever other questions.
Okay.
So we'll bring her to meet you in a future meeting.
All right, that'd be good.
That's all I have, unless you have questions.
Any questions for Amber or Rachel? Rachel, anything else from you, or to report, or are you good?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. All right, you've seen the financials. Any questions on them? Okay. Well, with that, I'll move that this meeting, or declare that this be adjourned. So thank you very much for
Is there
coming.
any possible way to speak